Hi everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and yes, I know you've seen this one before. I've decided to do a sort of different type of video for me. So with this one, rather than just do the review, which I've already done, and then do the build, I'm going to do a kind of build review. So rather than do detailed sort of step by step how it goes together and everything, I'm just going to do sort of a few stages, maybe 4 or 5 stages until we get the finished model. Whether I paint it or not, I don't know, but it's just basically a very small short series about how this model goes together and what I'm experiencing. The first thing to say is, obviously this being the UK, there are a lot of Land Rover experts out there who know these things like the back of their hand. You know, they could tell you the dimensions of the chassis, they could tell you the actual, the track, the wheelbase, the gear ratios, the engine size, the engine type, what carburetor I had fitted, even probably the serial number of the bloody air filter. They know these things inside out. And already I've been contacted by a few people and they've told me that Gecko have made a couple of small mistakes that won't bother most of you, but apparently the engine is incorrect. So obviously the engine they've got, it looks like the engine I had in my Series 1, but obviously the early Series 1 had a different engine. I don't know, but they've got the wrong engine. So obviously the vehicle they've used for their reference has had a later engine fitted to it or something. The other thing is it also has a overdrive lever, and also the high-low range should be like a ring pull apparently, and it's not, it's a lever. So again, the vehicle they've used has got later running gear in it or something, or maybe they've just used a 1956 Series 1 to depict this model when it should have been an earlier one. So, I don't know. Anyway, so how does it go together? We're not going to worry about accuracy and stuff like that, but, please, if you do spot stuff, let people know, because there are some people that really do want to know what's going on. So basically, going into the instructions, it's a very, very complex kit, and it's very much like mini art. There are a lot of assemblies where they could have used one part and they've used more than one, and it's also extremely fragile. So bear that in mind. If you're new to the hobby, best move along with this one and get something a bit more basic to start with, perhaps a Tamiya kit or something. But this is it's a beautiful little model, but it's certainly not an easy model to build. So in part 1, we're building up the front axle here, and you've got this red line. You have to be really careful with these instructions, because there's no sort of notes to tell you to refer to this or refer to that. But you can see in here, where is it we come to it? There we go. So yeah, what they should say here is refer to page 13 or step 18. You've got different positions you can put the steering gear in. Well, you know me, I don't like to stick to convention. So you've got here with the assembly, you can make the hub swivel. So what I've done, I've actually built up the chassis and everything, as you can see here, and I've actually made the steering work. And this has been a very, very tricky job, because all of these arms, just like Mini, are made to scale. Hence they are extremely fragile. So you can see on there, I've got blobs of super glue sort of on the ends of the shafts to try and build them up, because they were just breaking every time I tried to move the steering. So in hindsight, maybe shouldn't have done that, but I don't want it so I can play with it. I just want it so I can pose it. So if you are doing this and maybe you're later going to put it in a diorama, when you build models with the wheels always in the straight ahead position, they never look quite right. So just bear that in mind. But I've made it all work from the drop arm and everything, so you can see it there. It's all working as per the real thing. So very nice. Then we go along and we add the cross member in here and the front bumper and the shock absorbers. I haven't done this gun yet because we don't need it. Then we come along to the engine. So the engine is very well detailed. Here it is here, and you can see this is basically step 4 and 5, and the engine is gorgeous. Very nice indeed. You can see it's got these great big mounts on the sides here. We've got the transmission, the bell housing, and the transfer box on the side, on the back, with the handbrake chute, the handbrake drum there. You've got the transfer box sticking out the front. So we've also got positions there for the prop shafts and everything to go. Nice to see that they've actually done the prop shafts, the UJs, in 2 halves. Let me get a light on here for you. They've done the UJs in 2 halves, so yeah, they're actually going to look really nice as well. But make sure if you do glue the UJs into your gearbox and into your axle, make sure they're in the same orientation so that the prop shaft goes in. The front prop shaft there is going to go in when we fit the engine. Now I haven't actually physically fitted the engine to mine yet, but you can see how it goes in. It does fit in there absolutely beautifully, just like so, on those great big mounts. You can see how small this was. The engine is basically the whole bloody thing. So yeah, very nice indeed, beautiful little model, and you can see very, very well detailed, even if it is inaccurate, but hey ho. Okay, so going along there, and then here we're going to build up the radiator grill and everything and add these little photo etch brackets. I haven't done that yet. I've actually built up the radiator though. So we've got the radiator here, we've got the shrouding, and we've got the header tank on there, and then that is basically going to drop into here like so and form the hole which is in the front cross member there for the starting handle. More on the starting handle later. So that's all very, very nice. I may actually fit this in first actually before we do any painting, and then I can fill those seams if I need to. But yeah, you can see that's going to go in there. Okay, so I haven't fitted the headlights or anything obviously until I actually spray the actual radiator itself. And then here coming along we've got the fuel tank going in, and we've got the tray for the fuel tank, or it's either a tray or a protection plate, I can't remember now. And we've got an outrigger there, which for some reason they've made in photo etch rather than plastic, I don't know why. So that's there. I've basically soldered that onto the bottom of there, and then it's all glued in place, and the fuel tank is glued in on top, and that sits underneath the driver's seat, as it did for many, many, many years, until about 1986, something like that. They moved the fuel tank to the rear, I think. Maybe even later than that. And then we've got these levers and everything going here. We've got this side panel here which goes into the tunnel there, which is a gorgeous fit. You can see there. And we've got all those levers and everything on there, and they're all nicely done. As I say, inaccurate. If you want to take them off, don't put them on. This one here is your overdrive, so certainly don't add that one. And then the one next to it is a plunging knob, which apparently on this date of Land Rover should have just a ring, like a ring pull thing. So I don't know, I've never seen one. Then we've got this bulkhead here. Now this is my first real gripe with this kit. You've got these 2 pieces of photo etch here, P41, P43, and you can see they've got to be made into this, like where you have your boards where you put your screwdrivers or whatever on the wall. You've got to fold them into that shape, and they are literally just 2 straight pieces of brass. So you've got a lot of work to do in there, and one of them pinged off while I was doing it, and you can see, there's my knife. If you look here, there's one that's holding the starter handle, and then the other one I made from a strip of brass. So you can see it's a bit chunkier, but you're not really going to see it. You know, it's I need to trim them down a bit. I think actually it's a bit too chunky, isn't it? I will actually trim that down, or maybe just remove it completely. Something I wish Gecko Models was done, which is something that Riffield Model have started doing. They're listening to the modelers out there. You know, why didn't they give us the option to do this, or give us an alternative B41A or something with those molded on so you could just glue it in? Because when you look at the location, what's the point in going to all that fuss of having the photo etch to have that? I'm not sure if maybe we at a later date we fit a spare wheel in there. Are we going to fit a spare wheel on this one? If we are, then it's going to be completely hidden. It looks like we're not. Okay, it's got a spare wheel on the bonnet. But basically, you know, very, very, I don't know, OTT. Again, here you can see we've got this photo etch padlock, and then we've got the clasp and staple, hasp and staple. You know, it's like, why don't they just mould it in plastic? I mean, it looks great, but it's probably going to get pinged off as soon as you dry brush it or something. So I've got to add this piece here, AB16 yet. But that's all gone together beautifully. You can see it's a beautiful fit. The plastic is lovely. It really is very nice. It's a pleasure to work with. It is very nice indeed. So that's basically as far as I got there. But then I jumped ahead, as I always do, and went on doing the rear axle. And the reason I've done this is because I wanted to make sure everything was going to be square. So the rear axle's done here, and you can see that the shackles here on the chassis, they're not really shackles, are they? They're free to move. And then this will just basically, it will almost just clip into place. It's such a nice fit. It really is lovely. Of course, with the camera on, it won't clip into place at all, will it? Being as I've just said it. There we go. You can see that goes on there. And I haven't glued it yet because I want to make sure we can have it sat on 4 wheels and make sure we don't have a wheel up in the air. Oh, apparently these these outriggers are incorrect as well. I'm not sure if they should have those at all. I'm not sure it should have those at all. So let me know in the comments. But there we go. The chassis is one piece, which is nice for ease. But it's more fun to build a chassis, isn't it, than have a one-piece chassis. But you know, either way you look at it, it's all good. So there we are. So I've basically got that far. I think I'm getting to the point now I'm going to have to start doing some painting. I think I'll get all this done first. Get all this done and not put the seats in. Probably make a start on the bulkhead. So there we go. But as I say, the plastic's gorgeous. So that's an up, that's a plus. The assembly sequence is a bit funny. The instructions, you need to be looking ahead, you know, to make sure you know what's going on. And just basically just go for it and enjoy it. But as I say, if you are new to the hobby, this probably isn't one for you. But it's going to end up being a very, very beautiful little model of a Land Rover. You know, because of all the fine detail and everything, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. But as I say, I really wish Gecko would give us the option of you know, plastic or PE, not just this sort of stuff here, because it's just crazy, isn't it? So there we go. Right, so that's been just a few minutes, and I think you might like it this way. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. So I'll see you soon for part 2, which is where I'll be doing the next sort of tranche of work, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Oh, by the way, if you want to get one of these, you can get one from Tiger Hobbies. Link in the description below. And today is Friday the 25th of April 2025, and Gary is going to be at the NEC this weekend for the show. So if you want to go and say hello there, go and say hello to him and get yourself one of these, probably at a discounted price. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.